On the stream this week, we've been talking about editing, and I thought it would be really fun to bring that conversation to you so that you can benefit from some of what we were talking about. It came up because we run writing sprints Monday through Friday, at least most of the weekdays, unless something drastic comes up. And during those writing sprints, we work on either our writing or on editing or really on anything that we need to be productive with. You should definitely come and join them. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're notified when I go live. They start at 9 a.m., well, really 8:30, and they run until 1 p.m. And we do 6 sprints, and we have 10-minute breaks in between. If that sounds like something that might help you with your productivity, definitely come and join us. Welcome to my channel. My name is Seth. I'm a full-time fantasy author. I've written like a bajillion books, and I've published most of them. And I make these videos because I really enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy them too. Don't forget to leave me a comment letting me know if you do. But let's get into our topic for today. We are talking about editing. And this is a fairly controversial topic, not for the reasons you'd think, though. Pretty much everybody will agree that editing is necessary. But the thing is that people edit in a couple of different ways. For instance, I do the mass majority of my editing before I even write. And how is that possible, you might wonder? Well, I just think about the words I'm about to type or speak a lot. And then I do it, and then I type them or I speak them. This is a slightly slower way of writing, but it tends to produce a cleaner first draft. On the other hand, some people just like to sort of vomit words out onto the page, and then they go through afterwards and they clean it up. Now, those are the two extremes of editing, and there are people who fall everywhere in between. And there isn't a right way to edit. There's just effective for you. But what I want to talk about with regards to editing is something a little bit different. And that is, when is editing not actually helpful to you? See, because editing is a really personal thing, it can sometimes be hard for us to have proper perspective around it. We can get lost in the actual doing of it, and we can get to a point where we don't know whether we are making our content better or worse. And in fact, sometimes after editing something, we think to ourselves, this is much better. And then we wait for a little while and we read it again and we're like, why did I ever think that was better? And then we have to go through and edit again. And that's where I think it's very helpful to embrace a philosophy of ruthless honesty. Ruthless honesty is a principle that I try to use everywhere in my life. It's just being exceptionally honest about the state of, well, everything. And so when I sit down and I stare at my manuscript, I want to be ruthlessly honest with it. I want to look at it not through rose-colored glasses or despair-covered glasses either. I want to understand exactly what it is in reality, not in my perspective or in other people's perspectives, but in truth. And this is super helpful because it allows me to make good decisions. Because you can only make good decisions if you have good information. And you can only have good information if you're being honest. And so when I look at a piece of my writing, I'm not trying to say, how do I feel about it? I'm trying to objectively ask, is this good writing? And sometimes the answer is a resounding, no, this sucks. It's terrible. It's not good writing at all. I can't believe I wrote that. And that is accurate. And when that's the case, then I know I need a lot of editing. But sometimes I look at something I've written and I say, is this good writing? And I say, yeah, actually, you know what? It is good writing. It's maybe not the best writing that has ever existed. It's maybe not even the best writing that I could possibly do after wringing my soul out onto the page, but it is objectively good writing. And at that point, I know that I don't actually need to edit. What I need to do instead is I need to give it to other people, and I need to let them edit. See, as writers, we can often get stuck in this trap of self-editing. We keep changing things because we don't know if it's good or not. Well, the reality is that you can be there forever. There's nothing that can get you out of that except finally making the decision, this is either good writing or bad writing. And if it's bad writing, you need to keep editing it. Which means that if you want to stop editing the same thing over and over again, I don't know, maybe you're on your 3rd version of the same manuscript, or maybe you're on your 50th version of the same manuscript. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but I know people who have spent almost 20 years working on the same story, and it's not finished. That's not even the same story they started with. It's been edited and redone so many times that it bears no resemblance to what they originally started with. You don't want to do that. You want to write and you want to put that writing out into the world. And the only way to do that is to be honest about whether or not your writing is up to scratch. But if you ever read a book and you think to yourself, oh, that's worse than my writing, then you're probably ready to publish. You probably don't need to edit anymore. You can probably just ship it. And then once you've shipped it, you can improve by iterating with another story. And so that is today's messy video about editing. Stop. Seriously. If you're one of those people who just gets stuck in editing things over and over again, just stop. Believe me when I say the pain of potential rejection from putting your stuff out into the world is way better than the crippling fear that drives you to keep editing something over and over and over again. But I'm interested in knowing what you think about this, because I know a lot of people have different opinions on this. Why don't you tell me in the comments below? Are you the kind of person who has edited the same thing over and over and over again? And if so, why? What is it about your work that doesn't allow you to move forward? And if you're somebody who likes to just write and ship, then tell me about that as well. What makes you decide not to edit?